try to answer in the best way to the questions people from the community will be asking to us.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Rishabh Anand, and I'm a software engineer at Brain Cities Lab. I've been working with Brain Cities Lab for I think, last 2 years, and the main project that I've been focused on is the data wallet and the data chain that uh, we are going to answer some questions about in this session. I work from India. I do remote development for the company, and let's get started.
Yeah. Okay. I think one of the main questions people have been asking us is how do we define the Datachain Foundation, and if there is something out there that already exists that might be compared to it. So I think we have to consider the Datachain Foundation like a decentralized data analytics infrastructure that is operating as an open source foundation. So we aim to facilitate the access to accurate artificial intelligence and to critical data protection. So basically, we want to make data privacy something that is very close to the basic right of any humankind on Earth. So for that, we have created this distributed data analytics infrastructures that facilitate peer-to-peer solution implementation, allowing to secure structure and also safely exchange heterogeneous data between, on one hand, artificial intelligence, and on the other hand, institutions that are involved in what we call communities and federation. So the design takes not only in consideration the let's say what is considered like the main community of the 21st century, which is data, but is also taking considerations the people that are contributing or getting benefits from the infrastructure itself. That can be individuals, private and public institutions, businesses, administration, association, etc., etc. So you can say in a way that the data chain is some kind of interoperability protocol connecting blockchains endowed with also from various origin and heterogeneous protocol to form what I call a rope. Because today the main concept when we talk about the blockchain is we are talking about block, okay? And we believe that in the future, blockchains will evolve into something new, into what we call strings that will form ropes. And I believe that this design is the best one because a ropes is much more resilient than a chain. So we may discuss this concept later on, but I think it's one of the key components of what we have been building so far. So the described protocols that we are talking about is resilient, I was saying, is endowed with regeneration properties, and if you combine it with trust computing and smart contract-based testimony mechanism, you can understand how you can basically expand it to the whole internet and make it collaborate or interoperate with these information systems that are already existing. So maybe, Rishabh, you could tell us a little bit about the data wallet, which is one of the core components of the Datachain Foundation. And then we can elaborate from there and answering a few other questions that have been asked to us.
Yeah. So the data wallet is a product that we've built on top of the data chain, and it aims to fix the current problems in the current data brokerage industry. So in the current data brokerage industry, Uh, uh, there aren't a lot of privacy measures and security measures. The data owners do not exactly know what all data they are generating. They do not know what all data is being shared with the service providers. And thus, they also do not know if their data is being sold in the market. So with data wallet and data chain, we've tried to solve these problems by adding the privacy and security measures, like Kaze said. And for that, we are using a technology called the DLT, that's the distributed ledger technology. And DLT, along with DC tokens, is helping us build up the platform from ground up. So DLT has allowed us to create decentralized and distributed data storage for data owners. And it has also allowed us to facilitate trustful and incentivized data exchange between data owners and service providers. So as you can see, there are two main parties involved in a data brokerage system, the data owners and the service providers. So similarly, the data wallet contains two types of users. That's the data owners and the service providers. Data owners are allowed to self-generate their own data or receive some data from the service providers. And then the data wallet allows the users to audit every piece of information that they have on them. So the data wallet owners can review and audit all the data transactions that's happening, and they can further also control with whom they want to share this data. So with whom all with which service providers they want to share this data. They have complete control over that, and every sharing of data, it happens with the help of smart contracts, and the smart contracts helps us maintain trust in the system. Then on the other hand, we have the service providers. The service providers basically, they either generate data for us, or they buy data from us meaning the data owners. So let's say a service owner, they want a service provider, they want some data from the data owners. So they can create a smart contract request, which where they specify which information they're looking for and for how long they are looking for. Once that the smart contract is made, they send out the smart contract in the marketplace. In the marketplace, the data owners can go look for these smart contracts, and they can opt in if they have the data that the service provider is looking for. And the service provider can also attach incentives like the data exchange, the DC token. So in exchange, the service providers can either guarantee a service in return, or they can guarantee some DC tokens as incentives. So as a data owner, I can be selling my own data for some service returns or DC tokens. So all this happens in the data wallet, and I think that's pretty much it. It should give you a brief idea of the data wallet.
Yes, and what is very interesting is that we have been developing this this core component of what might be the internet in the future, because the first person that will be able to translate in a very simple way what we're doing is I think it's Didier Kirstenberg from HPE here in Paris. We were describing what we were doing during the Vivatech Technology 2018 or 2019, I'm not sure anymore. And basically, when you hear what the description of the data wallet said, actually what you are doing is some kind of distributed database. And that's what the data wallet is. When you create a cluster of data wallets, it's like basically creating, taking a sand on the beach, closing your hand, and each sand is a wallet that contains critical information about the person that is represented by this grain of sand. And this ability to give a very granular understanding or recording information about one entity or one object in a very granular way. It's very useful because when you start exploring domains like health, for example, or even predictive maintenance or economics, this kind of things, when you analyze some trends, for example, in economics. So you can understand that how important it is to have a very accurate series of information recorded in a very time-stamped way in order to be able to make any kind of predictions, and also in order to measure the gap between one entity or one situation and another. And it gave us the opportunity to design quite an infinity of use cases, both for people like the DNRD in Dubai. If maybe you can tell a few words about the DNRD, we can discuss about what we have been designing with HPE last year for the project. And then maybe before that, I will just give few metrics regarding the DCToken. It's very important for people to understand that the DCToken is one of the components of the foundation. It's not the core component. It's a component that actually emphasizes, increase, enhance the capabilities of the infrastructures to achieve its mission, which is basically make sure that the data that are generated by individuals are exploited in a very decentralized way, and that basically we are able to decentralize the data aggregation, data business, all the data business that is around the data, starting from the marketing that is made, the data brokerage as a whole, as an industry, that involve companies that are very famous like Facebook and Google, obviously, and many companies that are less famous, like Equifax, for example, that is one of the leaders in the world. So if you want to be able to give data, private data and public data as well, its true value, you need to disintermediate this industry, and that's one of the main problems that we are trying to address. And the getting some incentives with the DCToken is one part of the solution, but on one part of the aspect of the DCToken. But also the DCToken will enable us to retrace the origin of a data set in order to identify where it has been created, where it has been modified, because you can also leverage this amazing infrastructures that we are building in order to address challenges like data forgery, for example, which are one of the most important challenges that we have today. So this said, I believe that one of the other aspects, I wanted to give some few metrics regarding the DCToken. So DCToken stands for decentralized control, and we couldn't find a better name than this one. And I think it's if we address the challenge that is in front of us in a proper way, we could have a very, very big social impact, because the decentralization of the control of many institutions, starting from health, access to information, generation and diffusion of information, economy, and education, food, okay, all that, the decentralization of the control of all this aspect of our life is something that is critical. It's critical today, and it will be more critical in the future. So what we have decided to do is to create this digital asset that is taking advantage of the Ethereum platform, and that created the largest ecosystem supporting DLT and also the tokenization metadata. So we use the Ethereum most advanced properties to develop a secure, flexible, and programmable utility token to provide our clients and our community with the best experience, rewarding tokens and financial incentive, rewarding their sustainability-oriented investment, but also in some cases the good behaviors of some industrial, or also the generation of certificates that demonstrate all the origin of a product, but also that can be used in order to certify the compliance of a product or service with the legislation in a country. So I would say that with the DCToken, one is able to access digital services that are sold through the marketplace that we also have to build, that we'll have to integrate within the infrastructures. And we created what I call some kind of intrinsic token that is deeply embedded within the infrastructure. And it managed the access to tangible assets, like equity, like AI augmented digital services, and it generated value amongst all the ecosystem stakeholders. So it's ERC 777, which is compatible with the ERC 20 and the ERC 1820. So the guys who developed that for us, names is Levy, and we are very happy to be collaborating with him for the last 2 years as well. We have the total supply for the DCToken is 1 billion DC. We have issued 350 million DCToken. And if we have to talk about the amount of money that we want to raise during the public sale, if we can describe it like that, we are talking about around 5 million for the hardcap. And regarding the current situation and the fact that maybe in the next 3 years it might be very difficult for everyone to actually to thrive, just use basic words, we will be rising around 1.5 million euro in order to strengthen the architecture, proceed to the industrialization of all the platform, and start deploying some ecosystem by your own without having to wait for investors, without having to wait for grants, just using the DCToken and doing what is good and what is fair for our communities. So today during the lunch we had with one of our main supporter, I mean, it was people from Soya Capital, Angela Lequat, and with Olivier Delamarche, which is an economist. Basically, I was explaining that for the next month, one of the main challenge we have is to launch and support the cost of our human capital management platform for cities. So in order to enable everyone to find some opportunities, people that are today unemployed, find a way, help them to use our platform to find new opportunities, not only in order not to be too much hit by this economic crisis that will follow this the health crisis that we have been supporting, living for the last 10 months. So I think this is the core of the DCToken, and this is why a lot of people are supporting us. And what we have decided to do is to list the DCToken on 2 platforms. So we are already on Uniswap, as you may know. We also are preparing or listing with my friend Dave from ZBX. So very soon we'll be on ZBX. I think it's something that is very critical because we need, and that's why the name Datachain Foundation is so important. We need initiatives that actually decide to help people and support people in a very benevolent way. And I believe that serving the many is the best way to get a product to get adopted and to thrive and to survive. So if we are able through the projects that the DCToken will be supporting on the website, you can already see that you can actually allocate some DCs to some of the initiatives that we are supporting. So if we're able to do that for projects that are key for people, like health, like employment, like education, if we're able to do that for billions of people, then we can be sure that the adoption of the DCToken will basically grow exponentially, and its value will grow exponentially. Still, our goal is not to have a DCToken that is worth 1,000 euro or 2,000 euro. That's not where we want to go. I believe that moving from when we listed the DCToken on Uniswap, we were at 0.82 US dollar. So moving from 0.82 US dollar to 11 US dollar or 10 euro within the next 3 to 5 years would be perfect. And if we're able to reach $1 by June 2021, I think it would be perfect, because the goal here is to help as many people as possible to actually own this this mean of democratic expression. Because I think that at the end of the day, that might be what tokens and decentralization is all about, is giving back the power to the people and enabling them to have the means that are required in order to make some kind of paradigm shift. Okay, so I don't know if I replied to any of the questions. Rishav, maybe you can help me.
Sure.
maybe you could discuss the current technical roadmap. I know that you are working on many things. You are working on integrating the data wallet and the DCToken within e-commerce platform like Shopify, for example. So maybe you could give us a few details about how it's going, and if you will be able to industrialize this new services, a new approach. I know that you are discussing with people from Etherscan as well in order to interconnect the e-commerce platform with Etherscan in order to make sure that the transactions that are generated on an e-commerce platform like Shopify can be directly registered and impact the value of a token directly on Etherscan. Is that correct? Or am I saying bullshit?
Yes, exactly. So we are trying to integrate the shopping platforms like Shopify and the DCTokens together with the help of smart contracts. So that's where we are in communications with Etherscan. And what we really aim is that users should be able to transact with the DCTokens that they receive as incentives from the service providers. And as per the current roadmap, we divided the developments into 3 phases. The first phase where we developed the whole platform with a partial integration of the data chain, and we've successfully completed it, and we started work on the second phase. In the second phase, we do a deep integration of the data chain and the data wallet, using smart contracts, and this is where we are. And in the third, we allow users and developers to make apps on top of our data wallet and provide them with the APIs for doing so. So as of now, we are in the second phase, and I think after the second phase, we'll completely go public and allow developers to use our platform, and we'll see what interesting technologies, what interesting apps they can come up with.
Yeah, is that correct? If I say that, well, sum up that basically what's you aim to do with the data wallet is what people from iOS did with the iOS platform, basically enabling anyone to create any app on top of the iOS, and then distributing all these apps through the OS macOS platform, and then they've been followed by people like Android as well. And there will be, if I'm not wrong, we will have two kind of apps on the marketplace. We have classic apps like game or whatever other type of applications, but we will also have some artificial intelligence based services that will be downloaded or connected to wallets, and in order to provide specific services to owners of the wallet. Correct?
Yes, exactly. So with the data wallet, what we aim to do is create a single portal for data through which your data goes up or down. So it's important to create this unified portal of data. And if we are unifying the data portal, the apps which directly interacted with us, with our device, they need to interact with the data portal. And we also, who interacted directly with the apps directly, now we also need to interact with the data wallet portal. So previously, the data transactions which were happening directly with data wallet, that happens through the data wallet, and that's how we are able to see all the data that we generate. We are able to see what all data we share, and then it also allows us to receive incentives for data we are sharing, because we exactly know what data we are sharing.
Yeah. Am I correct if I'm saying that this is once again a paradigm shift, because we will be moving from a world where you are using a search engine or browser like Google or like Microsoft does, or like Safari, for example, and your information shared with an intermediaries in the middle, with a middleman that then after is able to capture those informations using technologies like cookies, for example, and to sell it to thousands of other organizations, to a model where basically there won't be any digital twin of yourself other than the ones that exist in your wallet. And one of the discussions that we have internally is to know when we will decide to create a web browser that will actually make this paradigm accessible to anyone and protect each individual from getting its private information extracted by third party. So right now I'm very fan of a woman, so I will tell her names here. Her name is Shoshana Zuboff, and she has been writing about surveillance capitalism and surveillance dividends. She's amazing. I recommend anyone that is interested in data protection, data privacy, and that is willing to help individuals get the just value of the data that are sharing in the data sphere. She's just amazing, and I think people like like her are actually paving the path for us, because she's pointing out one of the major issues of the internet, which is she described it like the information asymmetry. So having some service providers or web platforms that knows more about you that you may know about yourself, because they have been gathering information about you for the last decades or 20 years. So they have a clear understanding of how you behave, what are you high, what are you low, and then doing so, they are able to anticipate your behaviors and also your decisions. I think that's one of the discussions that we have internally when we try to figure out what is the social impact of what we are building, and what is the social responsibility, because if we build technologies that have worse effects than the technologies that already exist, it's I would say it's not really worse the case, and as it might be even dangerous when it comes to individual liberties, but with in mind the desire to and empower each individual and help each individual to become the real owner of its own data, and trying to help each individual to better understand what is made of its data. And when I'm talking about individuals, it can be the cars that is owned by individuals, it can be the companies that is owned by individuals or several individuals. So it's not only the private data that concern my health, for example. It's we are generating so many data every second that for us it's just impossible to understand. And for that, I think we are seeing a new economy arising from that, and we don't figure out yet how deep it will become. So I will maybe answer one of the questions because it's linked to what we are saying right now. So I won't make it in order. So what impact do you believe Bitcoin will have on economic growth? And if the impact of Bitcoin is big, what advantage do you think will be of using Bitcoin or any other token over regular money at banks? So I will start by the end. So banks are digitizing their own money, and they are following the path of digitization, tokenization of their money. So I would say, what is the major advantage? I would say producing money is very expensive. If you have to print money, you have to create a paper that is very specific. You have to create inks that are very specific. You need a factory. You need people in this factory. You need security in this factory. And then you need distribution services for this money that you have printed. And these security services need to basically distribute this money. I don't know if it's once a week or twice a week. Doesn't really matter, but it's very costly. Paper money is it's a business that is very expensive. And then it can be counterfeit. So some of the people that are counterfeiting money are real artists, and as an individuals, basically, for me, it's quite impossible to see the difference between a fake or not fake bill of 500 euro or 200 euro or 20 euro, because in my everyday life, I don't have to manipulate money. So for me, it's difficult to see the difference. I'm talking about people that are doing a good job. So this is the first thing. Paper money is very expensive. The second thing is that I think that if you have digital currency, you can control the provision, how many is available. So it's easiest to control inflation. And it's also easier to make sure that transactions are moving faster, etc. But you can also, one other benefit is from the tracking. It's easier to track the exchanges, where the money come from, where it's going, and where it's going next, for example. You can track, and then if you can track, it's easier for government to actually tax and perceive tax from the exchange that are made by the citizens that are powering its economy. So I think for government, this is the main challenge. For the individuals, I'm not sure. For the individuals, I believe that paper money is power. It's a power that can enable someone that is, for example, putting $10 in a biscuit cans every day or every week. Maybe after 10 years, he have 100,000 euro. With 100,000 euro, he can send his son to the right engineering school or finance school, and the son become someone else. He can reach a level in society that was not possible for his parents. So, and that's how you create some kind of generational wealth. If you can also get a loan, you can do a lot of things. I think that paper money is some kind of expression of freedom. So how do you express this freedom, and how do you move from your, let's say, a condition if you have to rely on an electronic currency that can be tracked by a government? I don't know. I think that's one of the limits of the models that is presented by the crypto monies that are promoted today by governments. When it comes to tokens, crypto monies that are not related to any institutions, I believe that it's also a huge opportunity because as individuals, you can bet on a new cryptocurrencies like the DCToken. And you can say that, okay, in 5 years, 4 years, this token might help me to become, might reach $10 US or $11 US. And so I will purchase 1 million of it while its value is 0.08, and see what will rise from this opportunity, from this bet I'm making in the future. Obviously, you have to assess the project, the team, the vision, and the ability of the people that are composing this team to reach the goal. But let's say that most of the time, exception made of all the scams that have been rising in the 2017 and early 2018, most of the time, the entrepreneurs that are involved in this kind of initiatives have some kind of very strong social engagement, and they have a vision that is very linked to this social engagement. They want to solve a problem for many, and they want to do it in a very decentralized way. So so Bitcoin, okay, yes. So regarding Bitcoin, yes. I believe that people might be misunderstanding what is Bitcoin. For me, Bitcoin, first of all, Bitcoin is not oil. Bitcoin is not a commodity. And I think that Bitcoin today, the value of Bitcoin is exploding because it's on one hand, it has an amazing ecosystem. The second thing is it has the advantage of the first mover. The third thing is that it is distributed and it is limited in amount. So basically, the more we advance, the less Bitcoin there will be. So in that case, you could compare it to gold. I would say that Bitcoin is storing a value the same way gold was doing it for the previous economy. So it's yes, it's designed to store value and a lot of value, and this value can evolve in time. But let's say that when in few years, it will be very comfortable to have a Bitcoin that will be storing value, and then when you want to purchase something, you burn this Bitcoin and you purchase the goods that you want to do, or you do the investment that you want to do. But it's not the tokens that will help us to change or dynamize the economy. It will not save our economy. It's not designed for that. For that, you need digital assets that are able to complete major commodities. And the most important commodities in the 21st century is data. And I think that every tokens that will be connected to data and with a serious use case, a real world use case, will be the tokens that will actually help and support the growth of the economy in the 20th century. Ben, you want to take the other questions? Another questions? So the question is, there is a lot of startup investment and innovation in various cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. What is the low-hanging fruits, and who is playing the long game against regulatory institutions? That one is very tricky. So with Bibin, we discussed a little bit this question earlier, and I would say that right now everyone is going to DeFi, and that's why when I say that people should bet on Ethereum. Ethereum will be for the internet of the new internet. Okay, Ethereum will be what framework like Magento, Symfony, Zen framework, not Drupal, but okay, all the frameworks that have been used in the year 2025, 27, 28 till 2013. All the frameworks that was used to build internet, to accelerate the development of internet and the development of the internet of exchange, of e-commerce. Okay, and I think that's the internet that is based on transaction and peer-to-peer transaction needs players like Ethereum, and people that are today involved in the DeFi movement. They are the ones that actually are driving this the trend. They are the ones that are ahead of the trend, and the big question is to understand if it is only a trend, and or if it's a real thing that will thrive and survive into the next 6 months, because more or less how fast things are changing. And so I think it's okay. We have another question. So how can you measure the value of this token? What are the factors that affect this value? Okay, that's very interesting. you remember that during the presentation we were saying that people can allocate DCTokens to initiatives that are benefiting to the minis. Okay, so you can consider that the value of the DCTokens will be equal to the combined value of all the ecosystems using both the infrastructures, okay, the Datachain Foundation, the data wallet. So for example, for Dubai, we had to, I'm talking about the DND project we made with HPE, we had to deploy over 2 million wallets, and each wallet was actually it was something like between 2 and maybe 5 transactions planned per wallet. If I don't know if I'm wrong, Richard, you tell me. Basically, the generation of the wallet, the transaction when someone purchases his plane tickets, or when he import it, the transaction when people is at the boarding, okay, the transaction when someone is at the gate in the custom in Dubai, transaction when someone is identify itself at for the hotel, etc., etc. So that's the minimum of numbers of transactions, and you could multiply it by 2, because you move to Dubai, but then you have to go back from where you come from. So each transaction was consuming a portion or an entire token, and basically you have to calculate the amount of transaction and you multiply it by 2 million, for example. If there are 2 million people traveling in 1 year, and it's much more, and to Dubai, and the goal was to deploy the platforms for the Dubai Expo 2020. So obviously they were planning to welcome more than 2 million people. So now we are moving to predictive and autonomous maintenance. We are using the technology for that purpose. So we are entering the machine-to-machine game, where basically one machine will tell to another machine that, okay, I'm not working very well, I'm working less well, etc. Now I need support. Okay, so you have one system that will be communicating to another system that will be communicating to another system, and each of this communication are on one hand using the data wallet component and or microservice architecture and artificial intelligence clusters. And on the other hand, every time there is a transaction, and the transaction can be for the equipment to order maintenance services, okay, from a supplier. So then there is a token that is consumed. So if you multiply it to the amount of like, let's say, public light, for example, that you can have in a city like Paris, you can envision how many transactions it can make. So to sum it up, basically you have the amount of transactions, okay? You have then the price per transactions. So the more transactions we have to do, the higher the price will grow. You have the price of the services that are provided, and basically there is a percentage of the services sold through the platform that goes to the infrastructures itself, and then it impacts the price of the token. You also have the tokens that are on which this token is indexed. So today it's indexed to Ethereum. So this is for the beginning, but in the future, obviously, we will declarate it from the Ethereum in order to correlate it directly to a fiat money. And just to hand, you also have the community, the amount of people adopting the DCToken, owning the DCToken, holding the DCToken, and purchasing this token on platform like Uniswap, or on exchange like ZBX. I don't know if the person that asked the question is satisfied by this answer. So knowing that we are still working very hard on that aspect, because it's not a matter of making this digital asset to take value. It's a matter of controlling the growth of its value, and not losing control over it, and not being able to basically support the value projects that we need to support in a very to make the whole things more sustainable and more accessible to the many. So the DCToken should not become too expensive. It should be something evolutive, yes, but its price should be something very controlled. So do we have more questions? It's 5:54, and I don't know if any other of you have a question.
So.
Yeah, Bibin, do you Rishav, do you have a question? Maybe Bibin, who is in the backing everything, maybe to have more questions.
No, nothing on my side.
So yeah, Bibin, tell me not to forget about the tokens. So yeah, so as I said, we are already listed on the DCToken, on the Uniswap. The DCToken is available on also on the dc.datachain.one platform. So this is the e-commerce platform that we are connecting with Etherscan, okay, in order to be 100% independent. On the other hand, we are inviting all the people that are interested in the next AMA, Ask Me Anything, and be creative. I will try to be creative as well in my answer. So don't forget that we wanted to say that any person that will ask us questions for the next AMA will receive a little bag of DCToken for the session organized in November. What else? We have a lot of projects going on. We are writing a lot of articles. If you go on the website, you can read all the white papers that we have written. We didn't write one; we wrote a lot, because it's a very complex project, very complex problems that we're trying to solve with various angles, and that's why we decided to write various papers in order to actually give the various perspectives. So you have papers that are more related to the mission of the Datachain Foundation. You have papers that are more related to the data exchange infrastructures, and we have papers that are more related to the data bank concept that Rishav came with in September. I think it's something brilliant. He didn't spoke about it. He should have, but it's okay. Next time.
Maybe in the next AMA.
Yes, I think it's something that we need to explore. And yeah, it's important to join us on the Telegram channel, because that's where we are announcing a lot of things. Before we were more focused on the meetup, but you know, now you cannot make meetup anymore. So we should be more focused on building the future together. I think we have a chance to do that with your support. And you can express your support by following us, as I said, on Telegram, Twitter, we are also on the LinkedIn, Facebook, and more of all, you can support us by swapping some DCs on Uniswap, and you should purchase some, because I think we are one of the companies that is combining traditional business with the way people are doing in the crypto sphere. So we have real customers paying for what we are doing right now, and it will never create the value cryptos like Ethereum or EOS have, because we are not here in order to speculate, but it would create some very tangible and durable value. So I hope that you appreciate it. And I can say that thank you for listening to us. Thank you for participating, Richard.
Thank you.
You didn't speak that much, but next time, I guess.
Yes, sure.
And yeah, and yeah, so everyone stay safe, and keep the game up. And if you are listening to us, you are already participating to this amazing revolution that is led by blockchain, tokenization, decentralized ledger technologies, and more. And I hope that we'll see you on our Telegram channel, and that we will have the opportunity to speak together and make it grow and successful. Okay, so thank you.